Alright, welcome back. Now in your day one video you learned your first two strikes as the jab and the cross. Those are called mid-range strikes. Your mid-range is when you're within range from your opponent to throw punches and kicks that you'll be able to land them at the end of their journey, of their path. So if we're too close, for example, and I go to throw a cross, it's going to get jammed up halfway, its path will not be able to go to completion, and I won't be able to land the strike very hard. That's the reason why we have different range. Long range, I'm not going to be able to reach him with anything besides a baseball bat or a weapon, so that's mostly for weapons. Mid-range, we have our basic strikes and our basic kicks. Okay? From close range, we're too jammed up to use those. I'm not going to throw a big kick. Okay? I'm not going to throw my jab and my cross from here. Instead, we use mid-range techniques like headbutts, knees, and elbows. Today I'm going to teach you knees and elbows, and then teach you those as follow-ups if you were to close the distance from mid-range to close range. It's good to be in control of where your distance is, so if you're not comfortable in close range, you don't want to end up there. But fights are dynamic. Your opponent rushes in, you get stuck there, you need to know how to defend yourself. Your knees and your elbows are the two basics for close range, just like your jab and your cross were your basics for mid-range. What you're going to do is keep that posture that you learned in the beginning. The first that I'm going to teach you is your rear hand forward elbow strike. All you're going to do is pick up your shoulder, just as if you were going to throw your cross. Your hand is going to pick up at the same time, and you're going to bring your elbow across in a horizontal motion across your face. Put your hand back. This hand comes open. Again, this hand is going to come across your face, and this elbow is going to come straight across. Do not rise your elbow like this at an upward angle. Also, do not come down with your elbow at a downward angle. There are rising elbows, there are downward elbows. Those we'll talk about later. This is not those particular techniques. There's a forward elbow strike. It's going to come horizontal. Common mistakes in this are going to be you keeping your fist exactly where it is and just trying to elbow. This, besides catching yourself across the jaw, which is going to make you feel stupid, jams up the elbow strike. You have to allow this hand, whichever hand it is, if it's your left hand, you're going to want to let it go across the right side of your face so that you can get that full rotation in your body that you did when we went over your jab and your cross. Is going to be that very same rotation. With your rear hand, with my right hand, it's going to go across the left side of my face. I get that rotation again in my shoulders, my hips, and in the ball of my back foot. So you have your rear and your lead hand, exact same techniques. Let that hand pass by the side of your face. Do not do this, okay? Do not come upwards with these particular elbows, or downwards. There's a forward elbow strike, horizontal, coming straight across here. What does your other hand do while one hand is elbowing? If you're in the close range, you're close enough to be able to grab the person to begin with. So you're not going to want to just let him stand there and start throwing elbow strikes. There's no certainty there. There's no base there. So as I throw, say with my right hand, an elbow strike, my left hand will hook the back of the neck. And I will throw the elbow strike as if I were to be meeting my hand with the elbow strike. I will meet his face or the side of his head, side of the neck, whatever it is. If I were to elbow switch, I will use this hand now for my elbow strike. Elbow strike, elbow strike. Practice those. Make sure that you don't have an issue with the form of that. Look over this video, and also in the supplemental material will be an explanation of it. So as I get into my close range, I can now use one of my close range strikes. The second close range strike that we're going to learn, knees, basic knees. So we're here. Same stance again as you had in the beginning. Your lead knee is obviously going to be faster, but not as powerful. That's going to be for quick shots to the groin, quick shots to the knee. Okay? Your rear knee is going to be much more powerful, especially if you're hooked in with one or both hands behind the neck. Maybe you were throwing your elbows, you're going to flow into your knees now. If you're hooked in and you have the person with a good base, you're really going to be able to throw these knees hard. Your rear knee, you're going to come up and in. Same with your lead knee. Up and in with the knee. Not striking with the top of the thigh, but striking with the actual knee itself. Do not come and come straight up with your knee when you're attacking somebody with a knee. You're going to end up just hitting him with your quadriceps. You're going to end up hitting him with the top of your thigh here. What you want to do is drive in with the knee. In, as you come forward, whether it be to the thigh, to the outside of the leg, to the groin, regardless of where you're actually attacking with the knee, that's where you're going to want to attack with. So that's your basic knee and your basic elbow. After you encounter a technique like him coming in with the overhand hook. You use your triangle. What do you do from here? You don't want to just use the triangle and then he swings with the next hand. If you're already in mid-range, which if he threw a hook and you blocked it like this, you're in mid-range now, okay? You're not at arm's length anymore from his face, you're not at fist length. You're all the way up here with the triangle already in place. His neck is already here. As soon as you land this triangle, slip in and take control over the back of the neck. You now control his center line. This is going to be explained in further classes and also in your supplemental material also. But now you control everything inside of your hands. He's on the outside, you're on the inside. When he swings at you, he's coming around the outside. You have control over everything, sight, air, and mobility. You have control over his eyes if you wanted to come back for a finger jab. If you wanted to come up for a finger jab to the throat, you have sight, air. Mobility, if you're in here and you want to start taking out the knees, you can go knee to knee. You can go shin kick to knee. Okay? Regardless, you now have control over everything center line, which is very important in defending yourself, and especially if you're defending yourself in close quarters, close quarter defense tactics. He comes around, you throw up your triangle, close the distance. You might just want to close immediately with your left hand and use your right hand right off the bat with that forward elbow strike. Your elbows are going to be more powerful than just throwing a jab at somebody, than just throwing a punch at somebody. So you're going to want to close and use these instead of throwing this, backing up and starting to throw your jabs and your crosses. Also, you have more control. It's not such a fluke to land here and then have to keep defending yourself back and forth. Once you're on the inside, you can start attacking and really count on having this control over center line. You throw that elbow strike, switch, throw another one. Okay? Once you have control over the back of the neck, you're going to use your elbows and your knees. One, start using your knees, work the groin, work the inside and outside of the legs, the thighs, working to the inside of the knees if you'd like to take a knee with you. Okay? So you're here. You work your elbows, you work your knees, switch, switch. Okay? Practice that. Practice those as follow-ups, and just practice that from the inside to begin with. So again, today, as a follow-up, we learned our elbows and our knee techniques. In the beginning, we learned the choke, breaking with the triangle. If he's this close and he's trying to choke you, nobody chokes you with their arm locked out like this. Okay, if they're choking you, maybe they're talking, maybe they're here. Nobody's just going to lock out. If he locks out and he's at that distance, just go for a kick to the groin or something. Don't even bother with this. Let him have your throat for a second. But point is, he's not. You're here. Use this as your close quarter techniques if you want to come in after you break free of this. Elbows and knees. As he comes around with the hook, you come in here. Work your knees. Work your elbows. Practice the proper technique for your elbow techniques, your knees, the difference between mid-range strikes and close-range strikes, what it takes to close that distance and gain that distance in your footwork, like in the day one video, and the self-defense techniques for, that's one-handed choke. This triangle is going to come in very handy. Learn how to use it to break things. Learn how to use it to defend. Learn how to use this because it's going to be very easy to get into. We're going to be using this a lot in the close quarter defense tactics system. Thanks for watching, class. Make sure you practice safely. We'll see you next time.